Silica, there's a rubric, desire to be magnetized. Now this is a very interesting rubric. What does this mean? We can take it from all levels from they want to be worked on psychically, which is true. They want to be psychics, which can also be true. 2, they just want someone to tell them what to do. They just want to have some authority, some parent, counselor, teacher, husband, wife, telling them what to do. They like that. If somebody else tells them what to do, then they know what's right. They know what's proper. They know their role. It's okay. They know it and they'll do it. The meaning is to know where they have to go, know the direction, and follow it and do it. That's what's easy for them. That's where they're comfortable. Someone questions them, someone debates them, someone challenges them, and the door bangs shut. They can get stubborn, fixed in their position, and if it's questioned or challenged too much, they can explode in anger. So it's all of our images have, because no one is in one way all the time. So we have to keep this in mind. Silica is yielding, timid, yet stubborn and fixed. Okay? And yet can get violently angry. So you get this polarity of this perfect little person who does well in school, works hard, keeps things right, yet when contradicted or exposed to something foreign, will not know how to act. And will get irritable, hypersensitive, and will often want to be left alone, or will fly into a rage. There's another rubric, which is weeping if reprimanded. Weeping if reprimanded. So they are content and happy in a life that is structured, when one knows what one is expected to do, where daily life has a routine. They get up at 7:30, they have their bath, they have their specific breakfast that they always love and want to eat every day. They take the bus to school, they're home at a certain point, they take their nap. This is what they like. This is where they're happiest. Dinner at 6, bed at 10, Upset with change in routine, not able to bend. A narrow life. Relatively narrow life. Another rubric, weep is spoken to kindly, and it's because the inner state is so demanding. Even as a little child, weep is spoken to kindly. And that is because they have their own rigid structure that's so demanding that if someone kind of implies to them, you're okay, you're nice, is kind to them, then they can weep just from that. It's kind of like a relief. They're also intolerant of contradiction. Intolerant of contradiction. The rubric is contradiction, intolerant of. Again, pressure, inner pressure, so straight, so strict, rigidity, fixed. Don't want anyone to challenge that. Don't ask me any questions. So, some keynote points, some other points of the Silica for children. They're sensitive to noise. Very sensitive to noise. This you'll see in an infant. The vacuum cleaner, a fan, an airplane. They have a big reaction. They cry and disturbed by loud noises. The preverbal child, it's very hard to prescribe, so you need sometimes things like this to help you. They're shy and timid. The infants vomit milk, even mother's milk. They cannot assimilate milk. The foot sweat, as I told you, profuse and offensive. Asthma, otitis media, blocked lacrimal duct. The vomiting milk is a really strong keynote. eating mother's milk. Can't even take in mother's milk. It's a difficult thing. So even with all this troubles that they have, for Silica, the childhood is usually the very happiest time. It's the very best time in their life because usually there are not so many demands made on them as children. They're usually the freest. They don't know yet so much about this image. So, and it's usually the time when they're not so fixed yet. They haven't become so fixed, so rigid. So it's the only remedy that's noted for dreams of youth. It's an extremely powerful and useful substance. I'm only going to touch today briefly on Aurum metallicum because you've had that. So what we're going to talk about in more detail are the salts of Aurum. So Aurum metallicum is a precious metal. It's a remedy of premier value. In the bottom line of the periodic table, representing the syphilitic miasm and the precious metals. It's kind of the symbol of the precious metals for us. The core themes are that of a king or a ruler. As we know, kings have gold crowns, gold scepters, sit on golden thrones, etc. So the themes of a king or ruler are, number 1, performance. Number 2, responsibility. And number 3, attack and defense. Now we're going to talk about the different salts. We'll start with Aurum arsenicum, which is the arsenate of gold. And it's abbreviated AURA. So Aurum arsenicum has, now so you'll understand for all these remedies, I'm assuming you understand the basic Aurum that we just talked about. So the basic Aurum state is there, and this is the variation, okay? It has more anxiety and restlessness and anger. Those are the 3 main points: anxiety, restlessness, and anger. So it takes on the arsenicum element in the anxiety and restlessness, but they seem to be even harder than either Aurum or arsenicum. The combination makes them very hard, very critical. Okay, so Aurum sulfuricum is described as the main feeling is anxiety and fear alternating with depression. There's this tendency to, much more tendency to indolence and letting other people take care of him. It's a sulfur element. They're the king, but this king wants to have all the good kingly things but not do anything for it. He treats loved ones outrageously, lets them support him. And George Vithulkas talks about this tremendous moaning and lamenting, disagreeable mood, constant brooding over his miserable and depressed state, sits alone and broods.